Fitness is you versus you. Never be satisfied. No pain, no gain. Change lies outside of your comfort zone. Don't care what others think. These are all statements that are accepted by most without a second thought. But that is the issue. Too many of us are mindlessly working, struggling, and stressing without giving it a second thought, let alone meditating on it in prayer and giving it to God. We are so fast to take the new drug or supplement, to follow the new trend, the new diet, and the trainer that says their way is the best. But we are struggling more, fatter, with more health problems, more stressed, and even if we reach our goals, we are unfulfilled. We make excuses, place blame, and beat ourselves up, but keep doing the same things over and over again. First Chronicles states that God chose the things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise, powerless to shame those who are powerful, things despised, counting as nothing at all, and use them to bring to nothing what the world considers important. So why do we keep choosing the ways of the world that the Bible states they won't work? Because most don't even know of any other way and leave God out of the process. But what if there was another way to bring God into your health and fitness? To stop stressing and find freedom and purpose through your goals? To go from struggling with health and fitness to worshiping through health and fitness? This is the Y2 Fitness Podcast. Hello and welcome to the first ever Y2 Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron O'Connell, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode. This episode is all about the why behind Y2 Fitness. But before I get into anything, I want to address my voice. I have lost my voice yesterday, and many of you are probably wondering, well, why would you even record the first podcast? Why don't you just wait? And it's because I'm done waiting. I am answering the call of God on my life. Last night I said, hey, Lord, if I'm recording it, you said I've been planning on it. You know it. If you want me to have my voice, let it be. If not, let it be. I'm putting it all in your hands. Whatever. This whole podcast is in God's hands, wherever it goes. But now that that's being said, first and foremost, I want to introduce myself. I am a child of the Most High God. I'm a brother enslaved to Jesus Christ, an heir to the kingdom. That is my identity. That is who I am. But here on earth, I am a father to the most amazing 7-year-old girl in existence. She blows me out of the water. She's amazing. I'm sure every parent says that. But this girl is amazing. I am so happy. She is my joy. It is amazing. Well, the joy of the Lord is my strength and God's my joy. But yes, she brings me so much joy. Also, I am currently pursuing my PhD in psychology, and I hold a master's in pastoral counseling. I'm also an IFBB Pro. I turned that back in 2013. Yes, 2013. I got my professional pro card in the IFBB, International Federation of Bodybuilding. This is the same pro card that all the pros have. I'm talking Ronnie Coleman. I'm talking Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't even do anything because my voice is gone. Anyways, but yes, I'm an IFBB Pro. I no longer compete. You'll learn why in other episodes, I'm sure. But also, I have been a personal trainer and coach for over 12 years. And during those 12 years, I realized that I didn't help anyone. What do you mean, Aaron? What do you mean? How'd you not help anyone? Well, yeah, I did change them on the outside. I got amazing physical results. But I wasn't actually helping them. I may have changed their bodies, but was I really helping them? Or were they still going to destruction? Or worse yet, going to destruction even more securely? Like almost solidifying it, and it pained me, so I had to get out of the personal training. And through many years of just seeking God, what to do, COVID, everything, I have arrived on the Y2 Fitness and all that it is about, and that is what I'm going to explain. But as I was saying, I didn't help anyone. And I observed that people fell into two categories. And it was category one where they never hit their goals, and obviously category number two where they hit their goals. But none of them I feel I helped. And I'm going to share this further by sharing my story, my personal story. I was born in Wisconsin. I have two older sisters. I didn't have much interaction with a bunch of friends. I was homeschooled till 6th grade, I believe. Yeah, 6th grade. And I'm in Wisconsin, cornfields, little house in the prairie life. Then I moved down to Florida and my world got rocked. I started really realizing how much faster South Florida is than Wisconsin. But I started getting bullying, even right there at the end in high school. I was baseball. I was throwing 91 miles per hour when I was 13, believe it or not. And even that being said, people would bully me. The biggest thing that I got called was gay. All the time. Like, not because I just didn't fit in with other men. I wasn't able to, look at and objectify women like they were and talk in this way and all these things. And I just didn't fit in. And I started getting bullied. And during that time, I ended up saying to myself, I am going to become the biggest, baddest man out there. I'm gonna look like a superhero. I have an uncle. He wrote more Captain America episodes, or should I say comics, than anyone else. His name is Mark Grunwald. Go Google him. But he gave me that inspiration of superhero, and I just wanted to be a superhero. So I started working out. I started doing all this type of stuff. Fast forward, going through high school and going through college, graduated. And when I got to my last year, I was just kind of doing just enough. I got to my last year, I'm like, what would happen if I tried? And I got a 4.0 for my bachelor's. And at that moment, I was like, why am I going to work for anyone when all I do is eat, breathe, and sleep fitness? So I got into that, which then Men's Physique then became an existence, and someone big and tall like me was able to actually compete without having to do massive amounts of gains of muscle. And I became a pro, and things just seemed on the up and up. I had the life, I had the apartment, I had it all, and I was empty. Although I had the six-pack, I was a pro. I was in drugs. I had eating disorders. I had anxiety. I had depression. I had so many things that I was empty. And why was that? It was because I was doing it all for the wrong reason. The reason I was doing everything was to be enough so I could feel like I am enough. But I was placing the power into other people, whether they approved that day or not. And it was destroying me. Fast forward a little bit further, I get my daughter, I get married. And even during that time, I idolized my marriage. I wanted to be the best husband. I wanted to be so much in that. So when anything would go wrong, I would go completely flipped out. But that's because I was doing it for all the wrong reasons, just to be okay. And the power was in other human beings. And other human beings are just as broken. And we as Christians know why we need this, why we need God. Because nothing else satisfies. But so when I then go through my marriage and that got taken away from me, I was broken. I had nothing. Everything I ever wanted was gone. My daughter, I'm having to pass as she's crying. And that's the thing. When you're not doing it for the right reason, when you're doing things out of fear and not out of love, when you are doing things to not be a certain way, instead of being so focused on what you are, who you are, what your identity really is, all you can do is be lost. And that is what I saw. That is what I saw from all the people that I was training. Because now there's there's two camps. There's two categories. And the first one is those that hit their goals like me. They hit their goals, but they're not happy. They lose the 100 pounds. They get to where it is, and now they're stuck on this plan. And the moment they get off that plan, they beat themselves up. They now are like, wait a minute, I lost 100 pounds, but I'm still unfulfilled. I'm still hurting. My husband still doesn't take notice of me. I still don't have any friends. I'm still depressed. But now I have this addiction of the gym where now if I don't make it to the gym, it makes me depressed. In addition to all the above things, it was creating more turmoil when people would hit their goals. So that is why the fitness industry says, never be satisfied. Like it's a good thing. But let's be real. Tell me anywhere else in life that it's a good thing to never be satisfied. First one you're probably going to say is finances. Okay, great. Looks like that the love of all money is root of all evil, and you're never satisfied with that. It's going to be dictating your life. Oh, there goes death right there. I'm never satisfied with my husband or my wife. I'm never satisfied with my kids. I'm not satisfied with my job. I'm not satisfied. And that is what the American and Western culture is pushing, of nothing ever being enough. So let's go work harder. Let's do more. And what does that achieve? Nothing. And that is why I couldn't sit there and keep trying to tell people, oh, it's going to be so much better when you get the six-pack, all this stuff. Sure, they could be healthier, but what is it if you gain the whole world but lose your soul, the Bible says. And that is what I was aiding and abetting in. And I no longer could do that, so I had to get out of personal training. But then there's also another category that actually more people fall into. And I've fallen into this myself as well. And that is when you are constantly procrastinating, not doing the very things that you say you want to do. Or you're doing it, but you're constantly in this cycle of not achieving your goals. You're self-sabotaging. You go on a diet just to go off of it. You're picking up a new way of doing things, and then you can't do it, and you just keep going around in a circle. But this circle actually is giving you that comfort because you are now doing something to achieve the goal. But once you get closer, you're realizing that, like the other category, you're not feeling fulfilled. You're not feeling the way that you thought you were going to, so you self-sabotage. Something else comes into the way, whether it be a devil, or the attack of the devil, whether it be anything. Maybe it's the grace of God trying to say, hey, do it with me, not by yourself. Whatever it is, you are constantly self-sabotaging, which then you now can explain why you haven't got to that goal. You can now explain why you still feel or are the way that you are, because you self-sabotage, because you eat this way, because you're always this way, because this is who you are, because I'm a Taurus, because I'm a Libra, because I'm an alcoholic, I'm a recovery, I'm an addict. You're labeling all these labels. No, you're a child of God. You are an overcomer. And that is what it's really all about, is when you find and shift your identity, that is when true lasting change can happen. That is why I'm here right now doing this podcast. I've already recorded like 12 podcasts with interviews, all these other things. I've set up my whole business. I've done all these things, yet I never pulled the trigger because my identity was wrong. I was doing it for the wrong reasons, and I knew it, and I was digging. I was self-sabotaging, which then made me comfortable and made me say and be able to say things like, hey, I do very little, but I get a lot. And that was my identity. But lo and behold, I am dying inside. Why? Because James 4:17 says it clearly. Remember, it's a sin to know what you ought to do and not to do it. And that right there was killing me, because my old version of success was who can get the most by doing the least. Or who has the most so then they can do the least. That's not success at all. Success is defined in John 14:27, and Jesus is saying, I have come and give you a gift that the world cannot give. It's a gift of peace of mind and heart. So don't be troubled or dismayed. That is what real success is. Peace of mind and heart. Knowing what you're doing, what you ought to do, and doing it. Because true freedom isn't doing what you want. True freedom is doing what you want as long as it's the beneficial right thing to do. Or else you're not going to be able to end up doing what you want. You're going to end up in the pits of hell. You're going to end up in debt. You're going to end up with this or that sin or that disease or this or that. And that's not freedom. Real freedom is doing what you ought and wanting to. It's like the Bible says, if you love me, Jesus said it, if you love me, you'll obey my commands. Like, it's a no-brainer. When you love your husband, when you love your wife, so much in the very beginning, like when you first met them, did you have to try to love them? Did you have to sit there and be like, okay, oh man, I don't know what to do. Oh my, even just that stressing alone shows that you love that person, that you're caring for that person. It's not a task, it's not a chore to show that person. But then as time goes on and things get less and less, you don't do those things naturally, and that's why there's so much divorce. But that's a whole nother topic. But we need to be able to have peace of mind and heart. That is why I'm doing this podcast, because everyone's falling into these two categories. They're doing this. They are bowing to the iron gods. They are sitting there and putting so much emphasis on patterns of this world. Romans 12:1 and 2, I base my entire coaching and counseling business, the Y2 Fitness, on Romans 12:1 and 2. And that states, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your body as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual and perfect act of worship. Do not copy patterns of this world, but instead be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. That's what my whole business is about. But Christians, pastors, I'm the overwhelming majority of Christians, or so-called Christians, whoever it is, the people that are trying, that are going for it at least, they are sitting there glorifying fitness, patterns of this world, influencers, this diet, that CrossFit, this method, whatever it is. You have pastors getting up on stages and talking about, hey, you got to let God control everything, all these other things. But the first thing they do when they mention anything health or fitness wise is they mention a pattern of this world. They don't talk about how they're offering their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're not talking about how they're being transformed by the renewing of their mind. They're literally giving power to other things that's leading them. And that is why we have our health statistics, our death rate is going up. Our average age of death is going down. People are getting more sick at a higher rate, yet we supposedly have all these anti-aging this and doing all these things. No. One of the longest studies that has been done, it's the longest actually scientific study out there, was I don't even know when it started. I think it was like 1927. I don't even know. I didn't plan on sharing this. But one of the longest studies is what are the qualities or traits, or what is the biggest factor that determines longevity in life? Like, what is the greatest markers of that? And one would think, oh, well, if they're not smoking, well, they're working out, they're eating healthy, and none of that mattered. What mattered was the quality of their relationships. That is what mattered. Who lasted the longest. Green zones in the world are called green zones because they have the highest per capita 100-year-olds. People that have made it to 100 years old. And they did a study on that. And the only difference that they showed is that they gave honor to the elders. Grandma had the most respect. Great-grandma had more than her. Mother, then kids. Us in the West, we have that completely different, flipped around, and we're influencing everything else all across the world. It's happening. The devil is controlling it. We know it. We're not battling the flesh. We're not battling blood. We're battling principalities of this world, the spiritual devil. We know this. And he's here. And the biggest Trojan horse that's happening, I believe, is in the health and fitness realm, because it is being geared by all the influencers, by all the celebrities, by all the athletes saying, unleash the inner athlete. Like you're an athlete. No, you are a stay-at-home mom that is 200 some plus pounds, whatever, and you are struggling to get up the stairs and hold little baby Johnny. You ain't no athlete. So why are you trying to train like one? Because someone told you to do that? Because you want to be like them? No, we need to be more like Christ. And then God will heal us all. Or heal our bodies, should I say, us in totality. Yeah, will we still struggle? Will there be stuff that has been already done, damaged, undone? Sure, but there's also miracles. But also it's the peace of mind and heart. And the way that we get peace of mind and heart is being able to explain why you have that peace of mind and heart. That's the whole theory behind Y2 Fitness. Y2 Fitness is not just about fitness. We take the paradigm at Y2 Fitness that fitness is your ability to overcome the task at hand. So in biology is an ability to thrive in your environment. It's an ability to reproduce. That's the same thing as the humans. To be able to be capable and able to walk that distance. To be able and capable to have the knowledge and the wisdom to save money and have financial fitness, relationship fitness. The ability to achieve the desired outcome is your fitness level. So we don't just talk about fitness here, we talk about it all. And why is God is the ultimate why. The reason we do everything. Why is the reason we do it all. So we need to be able to explain why we're doing it in the first place, and it better be pointing to God. My personal why is I work out, I do all the things I do so I can be ready and capable for anything that God, the devil, or life throws my way. I want to be able to answer the call when God calls. I understand I have a temple, and I need to train myself. Like Paul says, I train myself like an athlete. To do it and forcing my body to do what it ought to do in fear that I myself, after all my preaching, may be disqualified. Are you confident right now that you're doing all you can? If you have less knowledge, then great. You're not going to have to do as much to feel that way. It's called grace. But if you have more and you're constantly searching left and right, you're going to have to sort through a lot more junk in order to realize that it's all about God. Seek first the kingdom of God and live righteously, then everything will be added unto you. Lean not on your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he'll make your path straight. Because then we'll have healing for our body, the next verses say. That is what Y2 Fitness is about. That's why I'm here right now with a voice that's barely here, because I am done procrastinating. I am done not answering the call. I am done just sitting there sharpening my blade so sharp and never ever swinging it that I'm just cutting myself. It's time to go out and answer it, because I'm not special, you're not special, but we have been called. And that requires us to pick up that call every day and answer that call, because it's nothing about you, it's all about him. And that's what this is all about. Not only do I want to help people live their healthiest lives, get healthier, achieve what has been placed on their heart. Because if it has been placed on your heart to be an athlete, you can glorify God being an athlete. If it's been placed on your heart to have that six pack, guess what? Many people don't have that on their hearts. So maybe you need to go achieve that, and I'll help you. But then that might be the very thing that you realize, wow, everything's vain. And now I helped you find God by realizing that that was nothing. I don't know your personal path, but all I can say is I am here to help you. This podcast is here to help you. I will be interviewing, like I said, I've already interviewed, I think 13 or 12 people right now. Everything from how to share your faith more effectively, how to operate in relationships more effectively, all about CrossFit, all about swimming, all about little tiny details, all about mental health. With counselors, I've already done these. I'm doing this because I want to help and equip you as best as I can so you can hear, job well done, my faithful servant. That's what I want for you. I want you to have peace of mind and heart in your fitness, in your health, because if you have it in your health and your fitness, the state of your life is the state of your health. If you have poor health, you're having a poor life. Sorry to break it to you. If you aren't able to do the things you want, if you can't climb up a mountain to see those views, you are not living that amazing life that you could be, and I want to help. But more than that, I care about your heart. I care about your soul. Because that right there is what really matters. And the only way to really live the life of our dreams, God wants us to live the life of our dreams, to have the most abundant life, to have the most peaceful, joyous, love, filled with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, is if we submit it to Christ, if we offer our bodies as a living sacrifice. That is what I do in my program. That is what I want to teach in my coaching program. That's what I want to teach you in this podcast, how to offer your body as a living sacrifice. So then you can test and approve what God's will is, his perfect, pleasing will for you, your purpose, your why to fitness. Thank you so much for joining me on this first podcast. I'm sorry about my voice. I understand it probably wasn't great to listen to, this first one, but I wasn't going to procrastinate anymore. I know the devil attacked last night. I know I've been struggling eating all day today because he didn't want me to do this, and that is why I'm doing it. Because I love God's people, and I want them to not only fall more in love with God, but to also be living the life that is so outrageous, so amazing, and it's all dedicated to Christ. It's focused. You have your why, so you're ready to say why you have these blessings, so you can point to other people to God because you're living the abundant lifestyle. You're the Moses, you're the Abraham, you're the Esther. You have the abundance. You are the queen. You are all that, but you're not doing it for self. You are doing it for God, for your ultimate why, your why to fitness. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode.